Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Wassup. We back with another video, man. Today, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best 8th grade teams from this year. Now, before I start the video, I just want to let you guys know that these rankings are based off of my opinion, and they are also based off the records from last season. So if you feel like your team should have got higher, then I'm sorry that your team didn't get higher, but these are just my opinions. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 10, we have the Pioneer Panthers. Now, Pioneer didn't necessarily have a bad season. They were able to score points and get up on the board. They just weren't able to clutch up in the fourth quarter and make those big-time shots. They finished the season with a record 3-5. Listen to the teams Pearson, Roach, Westerly, and Griffin. Now, the reason I'm putting this team at number 10 is because of the way they're able to score the ball and keep these games in the fourth quarter intense games. Coming up at number 9, we have Lawler Middle School. Now, Lawler finished the season with a record of 6-6, which isn't necessarily bad, but they could have done better. This year, they lost to teams like Scoggins, Allen Erickson, Prosper Reynolds, Trent, Stafford, and Tren again. The reason I'm putting Lawler at number 9 is the same reason I put Pioneer at number 10. They were able to put points on the board and able to score, but they just couldn't finish out in the fourth quarter, which is the main reason why they lost most of their games this season. Coming in at number 8, we have the Hunt Huskies. Now, Hunt did surprise me with the record this season. They ended the season with a record of 6-1 and were even able to make the playoffs. They just couldn't execute against Griffin in the first round and ended up getting knocked up, but they did secure the 3rd seed and solidified themselves as a great team this season. At number 7, we have Roach Middle School. Now, Roach ended the season with a record of 7-2 and ended up playing Trent in the first round, but they couldn't execute and lost in the first round. They still had a great season, though. They were able to put points on the board and beat some great teams, but they just couldn't execute in the playoffs. Coming up at number 6, we have the Westerly Wildcats. Now, Westerly's record didn't seem as good as the other teams before, but if you look at their records, if you look at the teams that they were definitely playing way more comp than all the other teams, which I can see why they had a worse record than they did before. Westerly did have some elite players like Aiden Fikere, Ryan Wilbacker, and Chris Hang, who all played a big impact on the team's success in making the playoffs. Coming up at number 5, you have the Tren Timberwolves. Now, I cannot even lie. Tren was really fun to watch this year. They had star player Dylan Steffi, Braden Fryman, Bam Morales, Roston, and a whole bunch of players on their A team. They were even able to make the playoffs and have a good record this season. They were even able to make the playoffs and even make it all the way to the semifinals. They just lost to Stafford and couldn't make it to the championship game. Overall, I feel like Tren did really good this year. They had a lot of points on the board. They had a lot of highlight reels, and they were even able to make it on Hoop City Films. They just couldn't execute and get that district championship. Coming in at number 4, we have the Fowler Falcons, also known as Fowler Middle School. Now, out of all the teams I've listed so far, this is the team that surprised me the most. They ended the season with a record of 7-1, with their only loss being to Griffin Middle School, which is the same team who made the district championship. But what really surprised me the most is the Fowler Falcons knocking out the number 2 seed Pearson Patriots to make it to the semifinals, where they would face the number 6 seed, the Griffin Gators. Unfortunately, the Fowler Falcons season would come to an end as Griffin beats them in the semifinals to make it to the championship game. Now, before I list the top 3 teams of this season, I just want to make a quick disclaimer saying that any one of these 3 teams could have honestly been first. It really just depends on how your opinion is, how you feel about these teams, about their skill levels, about their size, about their athleticism. But me personally, these are my opinions, so let's get straight into it at number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the Pearson Patriots, also known as Pearson Middle School. Now, Pearson finished the season 7-1, with their only loss being to the Stafford Spartans. Pearson also had an elite backcourt duo with Grayson Jennings and Landon Doty. Pearson also ended up making it to the playoffs, but they ended up losing to Fowler in the first round. Now, you may be wondering, Wisdom, why would you put Pearson over Fowler if Fowler beat them in the first round? Well, me personally, I think that if their big man Xavier Young wasn't injured the entire season, they would have definitely beat Fowler in the first round and even make it even far. Who knows? Coming in at number 2, we have the Griffin Gators. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like Griffin is always doing good every single season in every single sport. That could just be me, though. No glazing, though. The Griffin Gators finished the season with a record of 8-1, making it all the way to the playoffs. Their star players for most of the season consist of James Johnson III, Trevor Dennis, Dominic Butler, and Seth Webb. The Griffin Gators would make it all the way to the playoffs, where they would beat Hunt in the first round and Fowler in the second round to make it all the way to the district championship. Although the Griffin Gators went undefeated that season, they still lost to the Stafford Spartans in the district championship, which would give them the second place medal and the second place trophy. And last but very not least, we have the Stafford Spartans. Now, before you guys rush to the comments and say that this is biased or that I'm glazing my team, just so you guys know, if you guys have been watching my videos all season, you guys know how elite this team is, how good this team has been, how many points they've been scoring on the board, their undefeated season, the playoffs, everything filled to the brim of this team has just been straight elite basketball. And if you guys have been watching my videos, you guys should know that by now. Not to mention our elite starting 5, Trey Wright, Bryce Roberts, Caleb Tasby, Justin Harper, and Aaron Adigan all showed out last season and all showed what they were capable of. Overall, you could try to say that another team was elite or another team was the best, but you cannot say that Stafford wasn't one of the best teams this season. In my opinion, Stafford easily deserves this #1 spot, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching this video, and until next time, Wise World out, man.